It is a beautiful day for costume and prop making, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Anthony at Chaos Rogue Designs, and today... What the f*** are we even talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful day for costume and prop making, even if it's dark at 6 PM. I'm Anthony at Chaos Rogue Designs, and today I'm going to be showing you a product that you can use when your contact adhesive starts to get a bit gross and gloopy. Now, I'm sure this isn't the only solution that's available, so if you do have anything that you use, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love you to share that tech with us, and if it's something that is awesome, it might be something that we add in a video in the future. Also, just before we get started, I know you can do things like putting your adhesive into things like squeezy bottles. This is all assuming you use your stuff straight out of the can like we do. The reason we do that is because I quite like using a spreader for application. It's just how I'm used to doing it. Things like a squeezy bottle may solve a few problems along the line, but yeah, this sort of stuff is assuming you do still use the tin. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. I'd say we use contact adhesive for at least 90% of any sticking in a build or project. The bond it gives is really strong, and as we apply it in thin layers, oftentimes you can't even see where one piece of foam joins another by the time the build is finished. We apply this adhesive to two pieces of foam we want to stick together. Wait about 5 minutes, then press, and boom, these aren't going to come apart even if you try really hard to separate them. The issue actually lies in the air curing. This stuff dries in open air, and every time you open and close the tin, you're exposing the adhesive to the elements. It doesn't help that usually the tin lid likes to slightly pop open. Seriously, we sometimes even use a mallet to keep this thing shut. So through general use, and on occasion the lid being haunted, eventually your adhesive will go from a thick water consistency to, well, this. And honestly, it can become far worse than this too. Eventually it just becomes unspreadable, as the adhesive is trying to clump up and stick to itself rather than the foam you're applying it to. So what do you do? Now admittedly, we used to just throw the stuff away. Now I know that's kind of wasteful. Now we got a little bit sick and tired of throwing excess adhesive away, so we did a little bit of research, and to our surprise, we found that you can actually get a thinner for contact adhesive. Now the thing is, I'm naturally skeptical. Unless I have proof that something works, well, it doesn't work. So we tested this stuff out, and to my surprise, it's actually pretty good, but there are a few steps that you need to follow to make it work in the first place, and there are a few things you just need to be a little bit careful of. This stuff is actual, literal poison. The back of the tin reads, "If swallowed, immediately call a poison center or doctor or /doctor. Do not induce vomiting." Yikes. So that means this stuff is so toxic that vomiting it up is a bad idea. Just let that sink in. This stuff, like I said, is actual, literal poison. This stuff will really screw you up. So I can't emphasize enough, just be really damn careful when you use this stuff, please. Oh yeah, and on top of that as well, the liquid and the vapor are flammable, so no naked flames by these. Don't be smoking near this stuff. And if we can just get serious just for 1 second, prop making is meant to be fun, whether you do it for a job or not. But just take all the necessary precautions, guys. Make sure you wear gloves, eye protection would be good, a mask. It doesn't even mention a mask, but we use ventilation masks just in case. You can't be too careful with stuff like this. It goes for tools generally, but when the tin literally has warnings splashed all over it and has a small book of instructions on what not to do with it, yeah, just be careful out there. Anyway, now I've freaked you all out, the contact adhesive thinner has a safety cap under the lid. We ended up needing a screwdriver to pry this one open. Next, you want to pour some into your contact adhesive tin. We usually pour in enough to completely cover the surface of our adhesive, but you may very well need more if you do have more kind of adhesive already in the tin. I'd say if you've got more than, let's say, a third to a half of your tin still full, you're probably going to need at least a little bit more than we're using. Now this is the cool part. Put the lid back on your adhesive and gently shake the tin. But make sure you shake side to side and not up and down. If you shake up and down, you may get some of the thinner escaping, and as we've already established, really don't want that. When you start, you'll be able to hear the thinner splashing around inside the tin, but after 20 seconds or so, you won't be able to hear it anymore. This is your indicator to stop shaking and let your adhesive sit. We usually leave it for about an hour. I'm pretty sure after about half an hour it's done what it needs to do, but there's no harm in being safe. It's really not much more technical than that. You should find for the most part at this point your contact adhesive is good as new. One thing we have noticed though is it does seem to dry up and kind of get back to that clumpy phase a lot faster after using this stuff. Now for us it's not usually a problem as, well, we make props all the time and use a lot of contact adhesive, but if you do use the stuff sparingly you may need to repeat this process from time to time. We have tested reapplications as well and can confirm that it does work perfectly. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. It's a bit of a quick one from us today, but I figured just because this is an issue that we have with literally every single tin of contact adhesive that we use, I'm sure we're not the only ones with the same issue. Like I said near the beginning of the video, if you do use anything else to thin your adhesive, or just have any sort of secret tech that you use to stop your contact adhesive going bad, I'd love to know what you do. Please leave it in the comments. That'd be really great to read. If you made it this far through the video, I presume you liked the video, so please hit the like button, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell so you know when our next videos go live. Also, we do have a build guide coming up very soon. It's going to be our first gun, which I'm really excited about. The guide will have a blueprint with it as well, so even if you don't want to follow my instructions, at the very least you'll have a blueprint and you can kind of make it on your own. But I'll be giving full instructions as well as everything that we're using from start to finish. You follow the steps by the end of the video, you're going to have a pretty cool gun to play around with. Anyway, that's all from me. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.